Hey there, welcome to Generations Wealth Talk. My name is Todd Watley, and I am one of your hosts, and Ian Weinder is my other host. Hey.
We're going to have a good time today, Todd.
We are going to have fun. It is the holiday season. We're approaching Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's the time when hopefully families go and visit each other. They travel, either people here go to their kids' house, or the kids sometimes come to mom and dad's house. Mm-hmm. And so today I want to talk about, and you're probably going to think, oh, Todd, but these are 10 questions, and they're hard questions, okay? These are 10 questions, and I've done this for probably 10 or 12 years. When we did the radio show, I did this every single year, and so if you have listened to our radio show, you've heard this before, but I want to bring it up every single year just because these are things that are very important. These are times when families need to get together and have this hard conversation. It's time to look at how mom and dad are doing. And so, two situations: if you're the mom and dad and the kids are coming to your house, I want you to bring this up, okay? If you're the kids going to mom and dad's house, these are 10 things that you can bring up to your parents and say, hey, I want to see how things are going, okay?
I love it. This is something where philosophically, it's really easy to avoid the hard stuff.
It is.
There's so many ways to distract yourself, to just kind of go with the flow and these comfortable things. And so I really want to challenge, we really want to challenge and encourage folks. Mm-hmm. Do some hard things intentionally, yep, so that if there's something that needs to be addressed, you can do it sooner rather than later. Yep. It's always easier to get it done sooner rather than hope everything's going to be fine. Yeah. Hope is not a good strategy really for anything in life. And so we understand these are challenging things, but this is as close as we can come to guaranteeing something. Your relationship will be deeper, mm-hmm, if you work through these with real honesty and candor, and you'll do better.
Yeah. So I know if you're a child and you have aging parents, you're like, well, things are fine. I talk to them 2, 3, 4 times a year, or even weekly, okay? But people are really good at hiding things on the phone. A short, mm-hmm, conversation, they can hide a lot of things. And so this is going to be primarily directed to the kids going to visit your parents. I want you to be a little nosy, okay? Mm-hmm. I want you to go in and look around the house, start looking at things kind of as an investigator to see how are mom and dad doing, or just mom or dad. And so number one of the first questions you should ask is, what can we do to help make your home more comfortable? Okay?
That's a great one.
A lot of this generation, they are still living in the same house that they raised the kids in. It's a 2-story house. Their bedroom may be upstairs. Stairs are not good as you age, okay? You don't need mom and dad going up and down stairs. And you may even notice they don't go up and down stairs. They are now living in the living room. They're now sleeping in their recliner because they're afraid to go up and down stairs. And one fall can be devastating. I mean, even if it's from the first step going up, they trip and fall, that can be bad, but coming down a number of stairs can be devastating. And you need to look around and see, how are mom and dad doing? Ask them, are you living in this house okay? It may be time to downsize. It may be time to get to a senior house that's one level, that they don't have to go up and down stairs. Look and see, are they now just living on one floor? That's a good sign. Time to sell the house. Let's get you more comfortable. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is about intentional curiosity.
Sure.
And because at some point, you're probably going to have to deal with this. Mm-hmm. Let's deal with it when we have more options.
Yeah. Let's do it now while we can. And so, okay, number 2. Okay, this is a big one, and
this might be the hardest one.
Okay, this is number 2 is, do you feel secure about driving? Now, if you're asking dad this, the answer is yes, I'm fine. Absolutely, I'm fine, okay? You're not going to get him to be very honest, almost always. I encourage you to go outside and look at their car. Walk around the car, particularly the back of the car, okay? Because do you see dents and dings where they may have backed into the pole at Walmart, or they may have scraped turning, somewhere? Look at the car, look at the garage, look at the entry doorpost to see, have they scraped that? Mm-hmm. That's the best sign that they may not be driving very well. And it's a sign that, Dad, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about, you may not be driving well. So far there's been no problems, but your reactions slow down. You're not seeing as well. And Dad, what if you hit a child? Okay. And that's terrible, but it happens. Kids run out in the street all the time. With good reaction time, good vision. You can see it, you can stop, it's fine. But as you get older and both of those things decline, it could be devastating. And catch it early. Look at the car, see if there's any dents or dings on it, scrape marks, and bring it up. Hey, how did this happen? It's like, oh well, that pole, blah blah.
It jumped right out.
It jumped right out in front of me. And so those are things, but catch it early rather than the really bad thing happen. And it's like, okay, Dad, you can't sign. Moms are sometimes just as bad, but dads, man, driving is their thing. Particularly with this generation, driving is the big thing.
It's really kind of the gateway to freedom for them, and it feels like giving up freedom. And gosh, that is exceedingly difficult.
Exceedingly difficult. Yeah.
But if there needs to be a change of strategy, it's better to do it sooner before something happens. I was going to say that, I believe that I'm pretty good at having tough conversations. I have quite a few tough conversations about a variety of subjects all the time. That's one I never really had a good language pattern for, but that example,
Driving's
let
hard.
them sit with it. Yeah.
Driving is hard. Okay, number 3, do you have an estate plan? And the follow-up is, if they do, when was it last updated? Was it the mid-90s when the kids were teenagers or kids? When do you have an estate plan? And if not, or if you do, when was it updated? It is crucial that your parents have an estate plan, and we'll do a whole show on this. But if they say, oh yeah, I have a will, it's updated, it's fine. Mom, Dad, okay, a will is what takes you through probate, all right? You don't want mom and dad going through probate because particularly in Arkansas, probate is a 1-year process. It is expensive, it is time consuming, it is public knowledge. You don't want your parents going through probate, and if their sole estate planning tool is a will, there's a good chance they're going to go through probate and they're going to lose between 5 and 10% of their estate going through probate. And the parents need to make sure their stuff goes where they want it to go, okay? Put that in writing. Make sure, and particularly if there's some family dynamics out there, there's a kid that they've not talked to the parents in years, decades, we may not want to leave that kid an equal share, okay? If there's some family dynamics out there, don't let it just fester and then, we'll just deal with this when mom and dad die. That's going to be ugly because if mom and dad do nothing, this kid who hasn't talked to mom and dad for years is going to get an equal share, okay? And that's probably not what the parents want. It's not what you as the kids want. You have to address this early and make sure what their plans are in place. And if that estate plan has not been updated within 5 years, they need to look at it again. And I would highly recommend you go to a specialist. It's like if your business lawyer did your estate plan, that it could be okay. Or if your old divorce lawyer did your estate plan, it could be okay. But this is a time to get a specialist, someone who focuses on estate planning.
This is what I want to just take a moment on, because this is look, it's not fun to deal with this stuff, okay? I get it. It's not fun. But the cost of inaction is always higher than the cost of doing it right.
Always.
Every single time. There's literally never a situation where not doing something is better than doing something. So I get it. It's not fun to talk about. It's not fun to write the check. It's not fun to organize it. But if you don't do it, you will pay more, and your family's going to have a harder time. I don't know how else to say it any more clearly. So when should someone have a will as their sole estate plan tool?
Never.
So they shouldn't have a will, Todd, is what you're saying.
Well, you can have a will, and there are. This is a whole show, but
Sorry.
there are two situations where you should do a will. If you're going to disinherit a child, yes, you need to do a will, but that will should not be what handles your entire estate. That will basically says, yes, I have disinherited this one child, and they are to get nothing. That is a legal document that will show up in court when that child files a probate to say, hey, mom and dad
Forgot about me,
and I'm going to open up a probate so I can get my share. Well, then this will pops up and says, hey, sorry, you don't get anything. Okay, so that's one situation. The other situation seems kind of weird, but this is true. If there's that one particular item,
like a family portrait or something.
it seems to be it seems to be a guitar.
Yeah,
There's
it's
the
true.
guitar that Willie Nelson played and signed, or Aerosmith, whoever. There's a guitar that you can't cut in half and split between two people. It's got to go to someone. And if that's going to be highly contested, put that in a will. And again, that will is not to open probate. It's when someone else opens the probate and says, Dad promised on his deathbed, he promised me the guitar, and my sister got it. The sister walks into court with a last will and testament that says, no, this says the sister gets the guitar.
So this is something that anyone can just do on their own, right?
Ah.
They should. Sorry, I'm asking things in a little bit of a silly
You are-
way here
you
to
are
break
being
it up.
silly.
But I mean, probate is a lawsuit.
Yeah, it is a lawsuit.
It's a lawsuit,
It's got to be done correctly.
and it's
okay?
expensive. So hire a specialist to avoid it.
Right.
It's worth every single penny.
Don't go through probate. Okay. Number 4, okay? Do you feel good about your financial situation? Okay? Money is a hot topic, and we don't talk about it. Okay? That's how a lot of families see it is we don't talk about money. I'm encouraging you as the older person, and I'm encouraging the kids, let's talk about it. Because your parents may be struggling financially. This is where when mom or dad go to the bathroom or they go to bed early, be nosy. I'm giving you permission to go through their desk or wherever and look at the bills. Are there past due bills? Are there issues going on that mom and dad just aren't talking about? They may be embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. Or they're just not sure what's going on. And this is when they need a financial advisor to step in, and let's get them in front of a financial advisor to look at the picture. If it's debt, if it's assets, if it's not being properly invested, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do regarding income and taxes, and this is the time to bring it up. And I know this is probably like after Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, everybody's happy eating Thanksgiving dinner, and you're sitting back eating dessert and drinking coffee. Now's the time to say, hey, I want to bring this up because Todd and Ian said to. Blame it on us.
Yeah, blame it on us. I like that.
We will take the blame and say, hey, we need to talk about finances. How are you doing?
I think it's a really important idea to understand that clarity and transparency really are there's no downside to that. It's hard, but you know what's harder is making huge mistakes.
Yeah.
That's a lot harder
And expensive.
and expensive. So we're gonna take a break. We'll be back from our break in just a minute. We've got a few more to go through.
Yeah.
But
Got
this
6 more.
idea is, we want to encourage you to work through some of these hard things now when they don't have to be hard later.
Yeah.
So get it over with. We'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
Since 2008, Joel's Upholstery and Fabrics in Bentonville has been your go-to destination for top-notch upholstery and fabrics. With over 25,000 yards of in-stock upholstery and home decor fabrics, vinyls, leathers, and a vast design library, we make reupholstery easy and affordable. Our expert staff is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to assist you. We cater to both commercial and household upholstery needs. Stay updated on our latest news, sales, and projects by following us on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, welcome back. We are having a fun conversation today. We are encouraging you to upset the apple cart just a little bit over the holidays, okay? And
Intentional curiosity is what we're calling it.
intentional curiosity. So, yeah, welcome back. So, our next question that I want you to ask your parents, and this is a fun one, okay? Just because it's bringing up things, but what I tell clients is, unless under two circumstances, you drop dead or you die in a car wreck, you're going to spend some length of time incapacitated. It could be hours, it could be days, and it could be years. During that time that you're incapacitated, someone has to legally be able to make decisions for you.
In your best interest.
In your best interest, and that is done through, the best way to do that is with a power of attorney. Everyone over the age of 18 needs to do a power of attorney, but it becomes particularly important once you get older. Once you start getting in those upper years, the chances of you spending some time incapacitated goes up tremendously. And if you don't do a power of attorney and you become incapacitated, the only option is we have to go to court and get a guardianship. And that is a lawsuit. Just like probate is a lawsuit, a guardianship is a lawsuit against the person that is incapacitated.
Sounds fun, Todd.
It's horrible. It is a horrible, horrible process. We bring in medical testimony. We bring in the neighbors to say all the crazy things you're doing or, why you're incapacitated, and that's in open court. You don't want to do that, and it's expensive. I mean, I think most attorneys charge their starting fees like $2,500, and that's if nothing's contested. If just one person wants to be the guardian, they're not going to fight with others. If you've got multiple people wanting to be the guardian, it gets ugly. You can spend tens of thousands of dollars figuring this out, whereas if you do power of attorney, it's done. It's taken care of. There's no hoops to jump through, and there's a whole lot of things with power of attorney, but I'm encouraging you to do one that is very comprehensive, allows the agent to do whatever needs to be done. It's immediately effective, and it is durable. Okay.
So someone could just scratch this on some paper.
No, they can't.
So they should hire a specialist, Todd? But that might be a little bit expensive.
I'm
I'm playing advocate a little bit today because we get to the point sometimes where we have to joke about this because it seems so obvious, but yet like what people want to preserve is control. Hope it's okay that I'm really transparent.
You don't give up anything. Yeah.
You don't give up control if you have a power of attorney. You know when you give up control? When you have a guardianship.
Absolutely.
And when you have a proper estate plan, you don't overpay. When you have a will and go through probate, guess what? You overpay.
Yeah.
So the inaction is always more expensive and you lose control.
Okay.
Please don't do it.
Yeah. One of our shows needs to be just on power of attorney. I think it is the most important document you can do. Okay. Not trust, not will, not a power of attorney. That is the most important document you can do, and I'm adamant. As a certified elder law attorney, this is what I deal with all the time. That is the most important. Okay, let's jump to the next fun topic is, okay, in the event that you become seriously ill, what level of care do you want?
How do you want it to go? What do you want to happen?
Yeah, this can get ugly fast if you don't plan ahead because you're there and they're like, I think we've done everything we can to save them. Do you want to keep them alive? And particularly if you have kids who don't agree with that. Oh no, don't let mama die. Don't let mama die. Yes, put her on the respirator, give her a feeding tube. We can't let mama die when everyone else knows that's not what mama wants, okay? You have to put it in writing. It has to be on a legal document that is witnessed. You sign it, it's witnessed, and it says, in that situation, here's what I want. Yeah. If you want to be kept alive, great. Fill out this form and say, keep me alive. I've done thousands of these, if not tens of thousands of these, and very few people are like, oh, yeah, I want everything done to me at that point in time, okay? But the point here is put it in writing, figure out what they want, and then put it in writing.
What I love about these questions is that it causes these issues that are real issues that are going to have to be dealt with at some point. It causes them to come up when there's no pressure to make decisions. When you're in that situation and, we're dealing with mom or dad is incapacitated, they're probably, it's pretty, you don't want the fight to be at that point. You want the fight to be at the kitchen table when the pressure's not really on.
Sure.
You want to work through that and make sure everyone's on the same page when the stakes are low. It's just good. It's just wise.
That's why you should do it now. Do it, after Thanksgiving dinner, after Christmas dinner. Sometime when you're just sitting around and everybody's bored, it's like, let's talk about this.
But this is when clear heads prevail, though.
Exactly.
And the decisions you're making while they're emotional, they're not ramped up by all the pressure.
Sure. All right. next issue is health insurance, okay? Hopefully this will air during open enrollment. You have to go talk to your insurance person. If you're on Medicare. A broker.
Every single year.
Every year. It's not.
This is so amazing to me.
I know.
Like,
people think, oh.
it's like the will thing.
Yeah. This was great last year. It'll be good next year.
No, it's different. It is a different plan, 100% guaranteed, period, end of conversation. Sorry, I'm a little direct today.
That's okay. Your medications change. Your doctors change. Your diagnosis change. That all plays into your insurance. Just because your insurance was good last year does not mean it's going to be good this year. Go seek the advice of a person who represents a lot of different companies. You will not pay more by going to an independent agent. You'll pay the same as everybody else, but this person can look at your situation and compare among all the plans out there and get you the absolute best plan. It's just imperative that you talk about this every year. The one you had last year may be the best one, but it may not. And you just have to know, I am on the best. And God forbid, don't do what your neighbor did just because they did it. Okay.
This is something, I just need 30 seconds on this, Todd.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. This is one where, I'm going to say this really strongly, it is different every year. Your plan from last year, it's not the same. It's different. And the folks at the insurance company, while they might be nice, their job is to look out for the insurance company, not for you.
Sure.
You need to get someone that their job is to look out for you every single year. It's a hassle, I get it, but it's going to save you money.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the next thing. We love specialists, okay? We're huge on specialists. I'm certified in elder law. You're certified in financial planning. Ask mom and dad, how comfortable are you with your doctor in the issues of aging, okay? A general family practice doctor who treats babies and teenagers and young adults and old people, they're great, okay? There's nothing wrong with them. But as you get older, you have 1, 2, 3, 6 diagnoses. You have all these medications, and that can become a nightmare for your typical doctor. There are specialists called gerontologists. They focus their training is on working with older people and trying to make all these diagnoses fit together and treat them comprehensively, okay? To say, we need to look at everything and we need to make this right, because when your heart doctor gives you one med and your kidney doctor gives you this and your GI doctor gives you this, it's like, how does this all fit
Todd,
together?
Everyone's doctors, they all get together in the same room and they work together on
No, they
I'm
don't.
joking a little bit, but
They don't.
you want a specialist that can coordinate the rest of your care.
You want a quarterback.
And that's understanding it. And there's really no downside to this.
Yeah.
Like everything that we're talking about, it's sometimes not as fun to talk about. There's no downside to doing this.
Yeah, find a doctor that specializes in geriatrics and can give you the direct care that you need. All right? Whew, all right, let's just keep on the fun topics.
These are fun ones.
Let's talk about funerals, okay? Mom and Dad, how do you want your funeral to go? And I can tell you, I've been doing this 25 years. I've seen a huge switch from 25 years ago. It was funerals, big fancy funerals and limos and police escorts and the whole 9 yards. I can say very few people nowadays want to do that. They're like, I don't want to go through all that. Let's just do a cremation and be done with it. But my mom, she told me, you better not cremate me. You better not.
These are important things
don't
that
worry,
sometimes
Mom,
don't come up, and so we want to make sure that what you want to happen actually happens.
My mother was not afraid to say what she wanted. And so this is one thing, if you think there's any question out there, this is the time, sitting around rather than they're dead and now what do we do? Figure this out now and say, okay, what exactly do we want to do here? And it's Mom and Dad's decision. And my suggestion is go pay for it. Go get it paid for, go get it done. I will tell you, if you think that's going to be an issue that people are going to fight about at the time of the parent's death, there is a form. You can call our office and I'll just email it to you. It's a very simple form that you fill out to say, these are my wishes. You sign it. It is witnessed. And it's a legal document that requires that to be done. So parents, if you're afraid that, like my mom, I don't know why she thought I would cremate her, but she was afraid. She could have filled out this form to say, I absolutely want to be buried. And by law, that's what has to happen. And so if you think that's going to be a problem, we can send you a form. There's a state form you can fill out in Arkansas that will ensure that that happens.
Something that's kind of a side effect of having this conversation is that it kind of brings to the forefront, like, oh, there's going to be a day when, mom and dad when we're all going to be gone, and it's not always, but sometimes that can actually create man, we need to be more intentional about stuff, and we need to call more, and we need to do some, that's my hope, is that that's what the reaction of this will be. But facing some of these things and really thinking through it can change some dynamics a little bit. So lead with that if you're the parents, and if your parents won't lead with it if you're the kids. It's just good. It's clean. It's good for everybody.
It's got to be done. Okay, the last one that's on my list, there's a lot of questions, but this one probably one of the most important ones is, Mom and Dad, where's your stuff? If you're not here, if you're in a car wreck and you're at the hospital, when I walk in this house, where do I need to go to get my stuff? And I would tell you, my mother-in-law does a fantastic job at this. It's the bottom drawer beside her side of the bed, the bedside cabinet thing. The bottom drawer has her estate planning documents, all their financial stuff. It's all in one drawer. And we know where to go to find that, okay? We know exactly where it is. Do you know where your parents' things are? Or as the older people, do your kids know where to go? I will bring this up. This is something that we've just started in our office, and I am finding a lot of people are becoming more open to technology. And there is a service we provide our clients. It's called Trustworthy.
That want to use it.
That want to use it. It's called Trustworthy, and it's a online platform that is super, super duper protected, encrypted on both ends. I mean, it is solid.
It's a little safer than leaving the stuff in the shoebox, actually.
It's a lot
I know it's
safer.
hard to talk about, but,
Right. So you can upload everything, your estate planning documents, financial documents, your Social Security card, your Medicare card, your insurance, your car insurance, everything. You can upload everything.
It organizes it, and it saves everyone time.
Yeah. And you can share that information with certain people, and you can share portions of it. And, you can, the insurance stuff, whatever, however you want it segregated, you can share that with certain people, and we know where your stuff is. And that is so crucial in an emergency when, someone's in the hospital, we need this and this and this. This service allows us to do that.
It makes all of that stuff so much easier. It makes the inevitable much easier to navigate. And being proactive, it's hard, it's work, but it's always worth it. So that's really the idea of today's show, is be proactive, think through this stuff, and get it right while you have the opportunity to get what you want.
I know this has been a downer, okay, sorry, but it's just so important.
We care enough to tell you the truth.
We do.
Truly.
And so if you would like a copy of this, we have a really nice handout. I meant to bring it today, I forgot, but it's a really nice handout with each of these questions and an explanation of why this is so important. Call the office, 479-601-4119. We will either email you a copy or we can mail you out a paper copy of it so that you can have it. But I encourage you, have those hard conversations, okay? It is time to let your parents know that you care, or you as the parents let the kids know. I encourage you, and happy holidays, okay? Thank y'all, and we'll see you next time.